In the mid-1980s, Los Angeles was a city on edge. Dreams and hopes painted its bright streets by day, but by night, an unspeakable terror emerged. Shadows whispered of a predator who struck in the dead of night, leaving behind fear, pain, and death. This is the story of Richard Ramirez, a man who came to be known as the Night Stalker, and the dark legacy he left behind. It began in 1984, with a crime so brutal, it shook even seasoned detectives. In a quiet neighborhood in Glassell Park, a 79-year-old woman was found dead in her home. She had been viciously attacked, her life taken in a way that spoke of calculated cruelty. This was only the beginning. Ramirez's methods were as terrifying as they were unpredictable. He targeted young and old, men and women, with no discernible pattern. His only consistency was the unimaginable violence he brought into his victims' lives. Residents locked their doors and windows, but the fear seeped through anyway. The media christened him the Night Stalker, a name that would forever haunt the city. He moved like a ghost, slipping into homes under cover of darkness. Each new attack was a fresh nightmare, a family destroyed, a life extinguished. Ramirez left behind a chilling mark, sometimes drawing pentagrams on the walls, other times forcing his victims to swear allegiance to Satan. His crimes weren't just acts of violence. They were declarations of pure evil. Law enforcement worked tirelessly, piecing together the fragments of his trail. At one crime scene, a single shoe print, a rare Avia sneaker, size 11, gave them their first significant clue. Forensic experts traced the shoes back to a limited batch sold in the area, but Ramirez continued to evade capture, spreading terror with each passing night. Survivors' testimonies painted a picture of a man who thrived on fear, a predator who enjoyed watching the life drain from his victims' eyes. The city was desperate for answers, and the pressure on investigators mounted. A breakthrough finally came in August 1985. A fingerprint left in a stolen car matched Richard Ramirez, a man with a criminal history, and a face now splashed across television screens. The city knew his name, and his time was running out. As Ramirez walked through a neighborhood in East Los Angeles, unaware that his face had been broadcast nationwide, he was recognized. A group of residents confronted him. Desperate to escape, he attempted to steal a car, but the community had had enough. Neighbors banded together, chasing and capturing him until police arrived. Richard Ramirez's reign of terror was over, brought down not just by law enforcement, but by the very people he had terrorized. In court, Ramirez's chilling demeanor was on full display. He smirked at the jury and declared, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory." But justice was swift and unforgiving. He was convicted of 13 counts of murder, among other charges, and sentenced to death, though he would never face execution, dying of cancer on death row in 2013. The sentence brought some measure of closure to his victims' families. The story of the Night Stalker is one of unimaginable horror, but also of resilience. The people of Los Angeles banded together, refusing to let fear consume them. The detectives who worked the case showed unwavering determination, and the community's courage ultimately led to Ramirez's capture. The shadows that Richard Ramirez once used to hide his crimes are long gone, replaced by the light of justice and the enduring strength of a city that refused to break. Evil may thrive in darkness, but justice will always find its way to the light. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of history's darkest chapters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.